What up, everybody? We got to talk and we got to go over some shit. I'm already swearing, but we're going to see how this goes today because today has been crazy. Dealing with the bots, man. The bots on X are nuts at the moment. If you guys haven't seen it, it's crazy. The amount of bots on X that are arguing for anything. If you want to go against anything against the current administration, the bots are insane. Absolutely insane. And there we go. I see the comments coming in. Hey, Derek. Hey, honey. The part that's interesting about all of this is it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem authentic. Seems very manufactured. And they use the same words. The words that I'm seeing today in all of my comments is this war is necessary. It's not that it's not a war anymore, because that was yesterday. That was yesterday and 2 days ago. It was not a war. I went, okay. I guess bombing another country is not a war. That's weird. Just really weird. The bots are coming out and doing all of this talk, and it is absolutely nuts. And I disagree with them. I disagree with the agenda they're pushing. I disagree with a lot of it because America has enough shit to deal with in our country. We don't need to be going and bombing another country. We need to be focused on America first, which is what this administration ran on. We need to be focused on making sure that we can take care of Americans. Hey, Brandon. We need to be really focused on cleaning up our house. One of the common sayings in the motivational world or the motivational speakers and stuff, they use the reference a lot about the oxygen masks on an airplane. So an oxygen mask, the first thing you do when they come down is you put yours on before trying to put anybody else's on. That is used in a reference in a lot of ways in the motivational world of you can't help others. You can't take care of anybody else. You can't lead them. You can't guide them. Can't really do any of that if your household is a mess or is in disarray. You put on your mask first before you can help others. Going and bombing another country is necessary when they have a crap load of mosques all around the world, around the country, our country. Who cares about outside of the United States? But in our country, some states have hundreds. My state has less than 10. But you look at it, you're bombing another country. We had the shooting in Austin that night. Then we had a shooting in Cincinnati, I believe, the same night. I don't know if those are correlated, but two big shootings in the same night, right after this war started, or conflict, if you want to ask MAGA. So we got to get into all of this. But my point was talking about the masks and all of that. The oxygen masks on a plane is we got to clean up our shit before we can start doing anything anywhere else. So we got to take care of America. We got to take care of Americans. We got to clean up all of our stuff inside our borders before we could even start looking at helping others. There's no point when we are just constantly policing the world and trying to correct the world when we can't even get our own shit together within our own borders. That's how pathetic this is. It's really pathetic. But share this out because we got to go through a lot of things. To go into it, we're going to be talking about the Texas election results. That's first. And then we're going to get into the war stuff. That is next. And that's going to probably take us way over time. So we're going to get into it and we'll start going over that. But do me a favor, get sharing this out, get it out there, get more people in the comments, and we're going to have some conversations about it. If you disagree, throw it in the comments. Let's talk about it. I was in Russo's comments on Facebook telling Russo he's wrong because Russo's saying bomb Iran. So I'm saying you trust the government too much. We need to clean up our shit before we start doing that. All right, let's get into it. Texas. We want to talk about the elections. I mostly am going to focus on Texas. North Carolina had a primary yesterday. Arkansas had a primary yesterday. Overall, numbers are way down. Like Voter turnout, most of you that have followed me for a long time, especially from the Be the Change era, know that local is all of my stuff. Like that's where I spend a lot of my focus, a lot of my time. I I don't worry too much about federal stuff, and I'm gonna get more and more away from that. We'll touch on it and talk about it, but I'm not really going to be super concerned with what's going on. We got to be focused on home. Very similar analogy to the oxygen masks. I can't be worrying about the whole country if my state can't even defend itself and my community and those things. That's where we got to back that up. Derek says, "Don't get me wrong. I'm glad Iranians are free. They're not free, but that should have been the agenda number one. That's not America first. I agree, but they're not free. Venezuelans are not free. The regime is still there. They are still running things. We are trying to act, and they're trying to tell the Americans that we are doing it. And no, we are not. They are still in power. Ayatollah's son took over, and that's a topic we're going to talk about when we get to the war subject. There's no change yet. Like we're just throwing bombs at each other, and we have we're throwing bombs at each other, and we have no mission, and that's what we're going to get at. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I was going over today. I have a lot of videos we're going to be playing on the different flip-flopping from this administration, going from I'm not in war, I don't support war, to now we're all of a sudden all for war. It's crazy. But all right, let's keep on task here. Let's move forward with Texas. So the primaries, really low voter turnout. We're talking 20% max. That was showing up like across all three states. Some states had really low turnout, Republican turnout. Democrats are showing up more. They voted more, which we kind of expect. They show up more consistently than Republicans. That's normal. The midterms are always low in general. Republicans don't normally show up to those. And so that's where I've been saying like this 2026 midterms that everybody's saying is going to be fine. You're living in denial. If you think the midterms are going to be fine, you are literally living in denial. And to reinforce that, the Republicans have lost 9 seats since Trump has taken over. How many seats have the Republicans added? 0. 0. The Republicans have added 0 seats since Trump has started his second term. And you want to tell me the midterms are going to be fine? You tried to tell everybody that Epstein files are a hoax. Tried to tell everybody no new wars. We're not getting in new wars, which we're going to show videos about that. No new wars. We're in wars. They're not delivering on the campaign promises. They are flip-flopping on everything. And so the midterms are not going to be okay. People are not going to show up to vote. And then you're going to have a lame duck presidency, and you guys have heard this from me over and over and over. The Democrats are going to take more seats. I don't know if it's going to completely flip into their way. It may. We are not on a good path. And it may. And then Donald Trump's not going to achieve a damn thing for the next 2 years. And JD Vance has nothing to run on. JD Vance will not have anything successful to put his name on and win the election in 2028. It will go to the Democrats. Unless the Libertarian Party figures out how we can really participate in 2028. That's a tall order, but we'll see. I guess anything's possible. But when it comes down to it, we're set up for a lame duck presidency, nothing improving, everything staying status quo. Democrats take over, and things go potentially even worse. Because one thing that I do give the Republicans is usually they don't do too bad, but I can't really say that anymore with this second term. Like we literally lied about every campaign promise. It's insane. All right, Texas. So with the low voter turnout, Texas is really ridiculous, in my opinion. Governor Abbott won in a landslide against Pete. How do you say his last name? Is it Chambers? Chambers? Hang on. Pete Chambers. I want to say Chambers. Doc Chambers. Anyways, you get the idea. So Pete was running against Greg Abbott. I thought he had a good chance, and I know Derek in the comments is a big fan also. And that's cool. Like, I wanted to see some change. Was he the full solution that was going to do everything I thought needed to be done with Texas? No. But I'm okay with progress and getting rid of Abbott. Abbott is awful. Anybody that supports him really doesn't understand what's going on in politics. He is an absolute mess for a leader for the state of Texas. And somehow he got a ridiculous amount of votes yesterday in the primary. And let me pull up my notes so I can. Where did that go? Here. So Pete and Abbott. Abbott got 1.7 million votes, so 81.8%, almost 82%. And then Pete got 11.2%. These numbers I just recently pulled just before the show started. There's like 43,000 votes left to still be counted. So these numbers are going to fluctuate just slightly, but the decisions are done on what's going on. Nothing's going to change in that sense. Like, Greg Abbott is the primary winner for the GOP for governor, and he's going to go against the Democrats. The Senate was getting a lot of attention because Ken Paxton, former AG, was running for the Senate seat against John Cornyn. John Cornyn is a piece of garbage. And out of everything, Donald Trump should be really backing Ken Paxton. Even though I'm not a Ken Paxton fan, Ken Paxton's better than Cornyn. We really should have gone with Wesley Hunt, in my opinion. That's who should have got all the votes. But everybody that is dumb and believes in the two-party system always says Wesley cost him the election. No, that doesn't mean anything. Just because Wesley was there doesn't mean all of those votes would have gone to Paxton. Not at all. And it's really ignorant for you to say that. If people wanted to do something different, they can do something different. Don't try to force them into your box to fit your narrative so we can follow your freaking stupidity to keep supporting the two-party system. Things have to change here. We have to change. We've had how many presidents since Bush won, and we have been in how many wars? A lot. And there's been one term in there that we did really decent at not really getting into big conflicts, big wars. That was 2016 to 2020. Everything else, we really were trying to pick a fight and get involved with everything. Every single one of them. And so you can't say this is a partisan issue. This is generally our government entirely. This is why I don't support two-party system. I don't support the red or the blue. It may be a candidate here and there, yes, because sometimes you got to vote the right person for the job, and it could be another team. I really think we need to get rid of teams and we focus on policy. But no, we keep getting caught up in the party issue. So when it comes down to this, Cornyn and Paxton are going into a runoff in May. So we'll see how all of that goes. I think Paxton's going to pull this out. We're going to see what Trump does. There's a possibility there's talks that Trump is, let me see if I grabbed that. Hang on. Trump, Paxton. Let me see if I can pull it up. I was reading earlier today that Trump made a True Social post about Paxton and Cornyn. Trump just announced he's going to endorse either Ken Paxton or Cornyn. So let me pull this up. Let me grab this link and we will pull it up on the screen over here. Ooh, there we go. I will be making, why is that so? Weird. Okay, whatever. Let's share the screen here. So on here, let's see if you guys can't even read it. There we go. That's perfect. There we go. So the Republican primary race for the United States Senate in the great state of Texas, a state I love. Everything's always over the top with Trump, and won 3 times in record numbers, the highest vote ever recorded by far. Okay, thanks, Trump. I cannot go for the good of the party and our country itself be allowed to go on any longer. It must stop now. Okay, we have an easy to beat radical left opponent. Sure, it's easy to beat because Cornyn is the incumbent here. Like, he's a horrible individual. If he's winning, then it's real easy. That's why I think Paxton is probably going to make it happen. Quote posted and shared because, thanks, Free. And we have to totally focus on putting him away quickly and decisively. Here's what Trump's doing. Trump is noticing, what did I say a few minutes ago when we started the show? The Democrats have already flipped 9 seats. 9 since Trump started his second term. That is across the board. That isn't just in the House or the Senate, in Congress, or that is across the board. The Democrats have started flipping seats. They have flipped 9. The Republicans have done none. So Trump is trying to save face here so he doesn't have a lame duck presidency. That is all he's trying to do. And so in this entire thing, Chris says Abbott will reel in the Paxton endorsement from Trump. So are you saying he will stop the endorsement from Paxton, or he will make sure that Trump endorses Paxton? Because I see Abbott would be more of a Cornyn fan than Paxton. But we'll see. But overall, in this entire thing, Trump is trying to save face with the Senate and trying to keep these seats because he's going to lose them. This one, I don't think, is in jeopardy. There's other Senate seats that he needs to be worried about. This one is not one. I believe if Paxton wins in the primary runoff, he's going to beat the Democrat because that's just the nature of this position. It's just going to be. And I would expect it. This is coming back to where Trump and his normal thing is he gets caught up and focuses on what the shiny little object in the corner. He's really missing the picture. And I think where these elections are falling off for the GOP is they no longer have Laura Trump running the GOP and to be able to put the energy into the party to get people to show up to vote. She did a whole lot in 2024 to get that election done. Same with Scott Pressler. Same with Charlie Kirk. Now you don't have Laura Trump and you don't have Charlie Kirk. And so Trump sent and this is my theory, he sent Dan Bongino back to his podcast to try to clean this up and try to get more support. And what did Dan Bongino do? Make this even worse for this administration. Dan Bongino didn't help anything. He is making it worse. But overall, if Trump endorses this, I don't see it changing. I don't see it's going to be a big difference. You're going to probably see some of the votes go to Paxton from Wesley Hunt. You're going to probably see some people just not vote. But I do think Paxton comes out on top with this, and most likely. I wanted to see something better. I thought Wesley was the better choice overall. You had Alex Duncan. We also talked with him back in October, but it's now down. It was down to those 3, and now it's getting down to 2. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But this overall, the point is with this, we only had in this for voting for these 2, we only had 1.7 million votes between the 2 of those people. 900,000 for Cornyn, 879,000 for Ken Paxton. Bongino constantly blocking MAGA people too for asking questions. Oh yeah. I'm blocked by Dan Bongino. It was hilarious. I didn't even go at him. I was just being like, "Hey, what is going on with this?" And it just kind of calling it out, see if I could get a reply. And no, I got a block instead. Go figure. So with that, I think this one is going to go go the way of Paxton. The GOP with the governor's already done. Dan Crenshaw lost, which is great. Dan Crenshaw got his butt kicked, in my opinion. He lost by 15%. Maybe he shouldn't threaten people and say he's going to kick their ass if they have a show, because it's probably not a good thing to really alienate their followers and really get rid of your supporters in that scenario. So maybe take a note. Well done for Steve Toth for pulling that one out and getting that one done. Do you think they can beat Tallarico? Yeah, I think so. He's got a fresh face and a fresh position, so he could carry some weight in that district. But I don't think so. I don't think he makes it. I don't think he does. It's better than Jasmine Crockett, that's for sure. That's the other win from yesterday. Jasmine Crockett is gone. She tried to run for the Senate, had to put her House seat to where she wouldn't run for a re-election, and so she is done. Which that is a great day for America. Who knows what she's going to be doing next? She might start a podcast and go do it with Michelle Obama. Who knows? Mike Obama. I don't get it. But the big thing that we need to talk about, Brandon Herrera and Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez is the incumbent, endorsed by Donald Trump. And that race was a lot closer than I really thought it was going to be. Right. Herrera came out as of just before the show started. He's at 43.3%, and Tony Gonzalez is at 41.7%. So that's within the difference that they're going to do a runoff. I think Brandon Herrera is going to double down a little bit harder, start putting his presence out there even more. He even called out Tony Gonzalez for for his Tony Gonzalez was like claiming victory almost. Let me go see if I could find it really quick. Gonzalez, come on. Let me see if I can find it. This was hilarious. It is another runoff, and I think this one will be good. I think Brandon's gonna get this one done. Overall, it is a little bit of optimism from me because I like Brandon. I think he can do by far much better than Tony Gonzalez, being the piece of garbage that he is. Where did that tweet go? He tweeted out last night. I was hoping I could find it real quick and we don't have to wait, but it's not right here. But it was hilarious. Last night, he started calling it out like, you're kind of declaring victory? Really? But you didn't really win. And it was hilarious. And the ratio on that was phenomenal. Let me do one more search. Brandon Herrera. Oh, gotta spell his last name right. Let's see. Bear with me a second, guys. I am just seeing. Here it is. Copy link. Let's pull this up on the screen. this was hilarious. All right. Let's zoom in here. So this is Tony Gonzalez last night. Thank you, President, and all those TX23 constituents that support our campaign onward to a victorious May. Brandon Herrera calls it out. Are you seriously congratulating yourself for not winning the primary? This is ridiculous. And look at the ratio. Look at this. This is what I mean. You look at the ratio here. The number of people that liked this post is more votes than I think what he got. Brandon Herrera got 23,000 votes and he's got 29,000 likes right here. This is why this guy is hilarious. I actually have loved him for a long time in all of his YouTube content and everything around guns and all of that. But I want him to win. Tony Gonzalez is a piece of garbage. I'll let you do the research if you want to. He is not a good human being. And definitely should not be representing the American people in government. Not at all. But let's talk about the government. The government is just as bad too. So I guess he fits. And that's why maybe maybe Donald Trump is endorsing him. Maybe. I don't know. Tony Gonzalez is a piece of garbage. But hopefully Brandon Herrera pulls this out. That's what I see on this next one. He's going to double down. The last but not least that we need to talk about is the crazy woman, Valentina Gomez. This lady. She had I didn't mean this post. I wanted this post first. So let's go to this post. This post right here. I have video evidence that my election has been rigged to benefit 84-year-old Congressman John Carter. Then fucking release it. Wait, why are you doing this? Because you're trying to be just a real politician and you can't tell the truth? Like, this is what's ridiculous. Like, this bullshit right here should not exist. If you got evidence, then fucking release it. Don't be putting out empty threats on social media to try to get clout. But really, all this is attention. She just wanted attention. She got it. She had 1.4 million views. Insane. And this is ridiculous when it comes down to our politicians are claiming these things. And she got 10% of the vote. You had zero chance. All of the polls and everything was telling you you had zero chance. But I have video evidence. My election has been rigged. This is exactly what we're going to see from MAGA for like the next 4 elections. Anybody that tries to keep going with MAGA after Trump in 2028 is going to claim this bullshit in every election. Every single election. Then show the fucking evidence. This is what's ridiculous when it comes to our politicians. We cannot be accepting this. The other post that I pulled up first, I had in the wrong order. She has like a little crash out in here too. We'll play her video. We'll get to that. This is where she is just having this freak out session because she lost. She lost. Congrats to the Muslims, the PDFs in the Epstein files, and the corrupt politicians. Wait a minute. The PDFs in the Epstein files, your group, MAGA, your MAGA group is trying to tell everybody it's a hoax. Like, you guys are inconsistent entirely. Like, this is a mess. And then she puts out this video, which is absolutely ridiculous. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear it so I can make sure you guys can hear this. Oh, this is your life. So she says, for me, this is an election, and my family and my life is not going to change. But for you and your family, this is your life. Oh, because she's so cool. And she's walking away because she got her ass kicked in the election. This is Nancy Mace, like 2.0. This is the Republican Party, people. The Republican Party is an absolute joke if these are the candidates they're going to keep putting up. You want this type of representation? Throwing a little temper tantrum because she lost an election that she knew she was not going to win? There was zero chance. Like, no one had her winning her district. No one. And then she has this little crash out and then also says, I have video evidence, but hasn't released shit. This is the future of the party. This is what they're going to keep doing. We need to do better in our country for who we want to be representing us. Just because they have some flashy ads that may get your attention, which she did good at. It got my attention. Like, a lot of the stuff that she did, I was like, wow, that's something that you wouldn't really do as a politician. So people are going to remember that ad. All right, we'll see how it goes. Clearly didn't work because she had no policy, nothing that she was actually going to be delivering on. So why would people want to vote for you? You are not providing anything to gain people's support. We are already seeing the Republican Party turn on their campaign promises for 2024 election. And then you're doing the same shit. How in the hell did you think that this was going to work? It's not. Anyways, we've already spent too much time on her. Like, she is just a mess. Did she even post anything? No, she hasn't posted since this video last night. And then this was just before it at 6:32. I have video evidence. Yeah, right. Shove it. You don't have evidence. If you did, you would have already released it. And you're best friends with Laura Loomer. It would have already came out. You don't have shit. And you got your ass kicked. That's the truth. So overall, guys, like I did a big post on X today about the participation rate. Of course, it made a lot of people upset, especially people on the right. And there's a good amount of them that are mad at me saying, "Oh, it's because you're a panicking." I'm a panicking because I'm giving you numbers showing that you don't show up to vote in midterms, and I've been saying this for 2 years. I've actually been saying it for a lot longer than 2 years, excuse me. Because Republicans are notorious for not showing up in primaries, off-cycle elections, and midterms. They don't show up. So it's not a hard thing to predict. And we've been seeing it all the way back to right after the 2024 election completed and Trump took over. You had Wisconsin on April 1st that had a critical Supreme Court seat that was up. And 1 million Republicans did not show up on April 1st to change that in Wisconsin on April 1st, 2025. That was 5 months after the normal election. And you already have 1 million people not showing up to vote. That is why you lose elections. President Trump saved us from Jesus. I can't believe I just said that out loud. I hate you for that. Waz, thank you. No, he did not. And he is not a hero when it comes to Iran. Not at all. But overall, my post about the election, we are seeing low voter turnout, which libertarian friends, this is how we figure it out. We can clear up all of the mess with the Libertarian Party and start moving in a general direction. It's not hard to take seats in midterms. It's not hard to take the other seats off cycle elections. You only have to get a few thousand votes to really win seats. And that should be the libertarian focus, is figuring out how you can slowly chip away when everybody else is asleep at the midterms, off-cycle elections, and special elections. You do that, you're going to start being able to take some seats and really gain some ground. And right now, no one wants to vote, and I don't blame them. You guys have heard from me. I'm done with the federal elections. They're not listening to me. I try to communicate with anybody, any of my representatives in Congress, and I get nothing. Nothing. And so there's nothing going to change from the federal position. We're going to have to really focus on our states, guys. That's where we really have to focus. Facts, Amity. Facts. If we can really dial that in, I think we can start changing things. Because once we can get our states to push back against the federal government and really go against it, for example, like when states tried to open up and the government Biden administration was doubling down and trying to mandate things, and the states were, no, we're not listening to you. That's why your state is important. Those elections have low voter turnout, and there is a huge opportunity there if you can get people to move in one direction. It's hard because a lot of people let one issue divide everybody. And you shouldn't. You should be focused on what you can do to build your community and state to be stronger, to go against the federal government if it goes rogue or if it collapses. If it collapses, then we're in trouble. We're all connected to the same power grid. Texas is the only one that can really spin up a separate power grid pretty quickly. Every other state in the union can't. It would be a struggle. And you're going to run into all kinds of problems. Brexit was a mess. And they didn't even plan for pharmaceutical drugs. They almost went live with the whole split out. and they didn't even have a way to get their citizens their prescriptions. Those are the type of things that governments are a mess, and we can't be trusting them with everything. Derek says, heck yeah, if any libertarian watching this are in Texas, please contact me. My wife and I will help you get noticed. Casey knows what we can do. Derek, you should just come to the Libertarian Convention. That's what you could do. Get involved with the libertarians in Texas. The Libertarian Convention is next month, and I will be there. Some of them in the comments also will be there. So you can come connect with a bunch of libertarians. It will be fun. We have a blast. But overall, guys, like the main thing that I wanted to emphasize with the elections, there's a lot of opportunity for improvement. There's a lot of things that can be done, but we're struggling to get things moving in a unified direction no matter what we're doing party-wise. Yes, Amity. Yes, we will be there. We will be there. I actually even got the motorhome taken care of today. Got new brakes put on the back of the motorhome on the rear wheels because I don't have time to do that. But yeah, we'll be there. Overall, so keep getting lost. But with the election, guys, we got to fix the voter turnout issue if we really want to fix anything. And we really need to focus on local elections and how we're going to clean that up. So overall, just make sure that we are doing our best at trying to figure out how we clean up our states is my recommendation. Know your neighbors, get to know your people in your communities, build a stronger community. We have to really figure out how to get along. If you guys know, Free in the chat, Amity in the chat, Chris is in here. We all disagree on some things, but do we all let it divide us? No, we still run around in the same circles of friends. That is the part that we need to make sure that we're growing. And that is how we can fight the corruption and the evilness in our government, is bringing everybody together on this. Chris is mega MAGA. And so he's hard to persuade around Iran, but we know he's a big Iran supporter and he'll come around one day, but he's making it. All right, let's jump into the Iran stuff. This is going to be fun. We have a lot to talk about with Iran. And the reason why with Iran, I have a crap load of videos that we're going to be watching. A bunch of clips from everything from Marco Rubio flip-flopping from one day to another. We got to go over Tim Burchett calling out Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham saying we need to be going after, I think he said Lebanon. I think it's Lebanon. We'll get to it. But let's start with our commander-in-chief, Donald Trump. Let's start with Donald Trump, please, because Donald Trump got this right. Oh no. Come on, Chris. I know you'll come around. You'll come around. It's all right. Maybe this video will convince you that it's not a good idea. This was Donald Trump. I think this was yesterday. I don't exactly remember when this was played, but I got to play this, and then we got a video shortly after that I got to play. We got to figure out what are we seeing as a correlation here. Give me one more time. Give me a thumbs up if you guys hear this, so I could just make sure it's playing right.
If we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon.
Wait a minute. If we didn't hit in 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. Let's play that again.
If we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. If we didn't do the B-2 attack a number of months ago, they would have a nuclear weapon. And
wait a minute. If we didn't hit them with the B-2 attack, with the bunker buster, they wouldn't have had a nuclear weapon. But if we didn't hit them within 2 weeks of when this was happening, just recently when we attacked them last weekend, they would have had a nuclear weapon. But you said we would have pushed out, and your documentation on whitehouse.gov said they will not be able to do anything with nuclear arms for a very long time because of the bunker buster. Remember when that was trending everywhere? The bunker buster? I remember because I think where was I? Were we in Texas at that point? We were somewhere driving to Florida when that happened because I remember arguing with people as I was driving in the motorhome. But let's go back over this. This is a short one, and then
if we didn't
we're
hit
going to hear
within 2
some other
weeks, they
clips.
would have had a nuclear weapon. If we didn't do the B-2 attack a number of months ago, they would have a nuclear weapon. And when crazy people have nuclear weapons, bad things happen. So we're in very good shape now. I want to let you know that, and we will continue forward. But it's a great display of military strength, and I'm very proud to have, with some of the people in the room, both senators and congressmen, we rebuilt, and women, if we didn't hit within.
So in 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon if we didn't attack them over the weekend. If we didn't bomb them with the B-2 bomber and the bunker buster, they would have got a nuclear weapon. What are they doing here? What is he doing? Because it sounds awfully familiar. Let's go ahead and pull up this video.
What? Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Within 3 to 5 years. Hey, can you take a note of that date? 1995, February 8th. With 3 to 5 years. Okay. We're 25 more years, 26 more years after that. We still don't have them. But he was back here saying in June 2025, in a very short time, they could have nuclear weapons. What does this remind you of? This is the same shit. The same shit that George Bush was saying about WMDs. Let's go back to Trump real quick. Hang on. Let's go back to Trump. Trump was saying what again?
Within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. If we didn't do the B-2 attack a number of months ago, they would have a nuclear weapon. And
so we're just going to keep telling everybody, boogeyman. That's why. The boogeyman is why. This is absolutely insane that people are buying this. They're buying this. What is there to buy? We went through this script with George W. Bush with weapons of mass destruction. And then Donald Trump used WMDs again. And with the WMDs, he was trying to tell us all of this, and we all know that was a lie. It was a flat out lie. And now we're back to this again. We forgot in 20 years that why we went into Afghanistan. These lies are what causes our wars. And then we have MAGA going around and trying to tell us it's not a war. Oh, guys, this is insane. How in the world are we accepting this? What is the deal with these people? Let me pull up the next clip. That one is not the one I wanted. Hang on. Let's jump to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is saying, oh, wait, he got his Make Iran Great Again deal. So now, is it Lebanon? Yes, Lebanon. Let's hear what Lindsey Graham has to say. How much do you want to bet he wants to go after another country?
And they support Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. One thing to President Trump, in case you're watching. In 1983, Ronald Reagan sent Marines and sailors to try to police and deal with the Lebanese civil war. They were at the end of the runway. Hezbollah attacked the Marine barracks, killed 220 Marines, 18 sailors, and wounded 100 others. Ronald Reagan, who I admire and love, withdrew and never did anything about it. So I'm calling on President Trump today. Join Israel to attack Hezbollah. Avenge the Marines. America never forgets. Those 220 Marines and 18 sailors' families, we want to go after the infrastructure that killed your loved ones. They're IRGC assets in Beirut as I speak. President Trump, come up with a new operation called Simplify. Fly with Israel and go after Hezbollah, who has American blood on its hands. Not only take the mothership of Iran down, also take the proxy of Hezbollah, settle the score, even the account.
Look at him. Look at him trying to emphasize
Fly
his
with
words.
Israel.
He's trying to
and
get
go
people
after Hezbollah,
buy-in.
who has American
We need
blood
to
on its
defend
hands.
ourselves. I
Not only
agree.
take the mothership.
One time, and I do agree, when we attacked Syria in December, I was okay with the response because they attacked us and they killed some of our soldiers. So we have to send a response. I 100% agree with that. But then we leave it at that. We get it done and then walk away. We don't have these long drawn out wars forever. We don't do the 4 weeks to flatten Iran bullshit. We got to make sure that we go in and just deal with business and walk away. Iran didn't do shit for us. Do shit to us. It was all a boogeyman. It's exactly what we saw with Bibi and Donald Trump, repeating the same bullshit. The same bullshit over and over and over. Just to get people's buy-in so we can go and blow up another country. The part that I want you to hear is this one. This is hilarious. This is Tim Burchett's response.
Go ahead, brother.
This one's a good one.
I'll get you next, ma'am. Go ahead, brother.
Senator Lindsey Graham is now calling for the U.S. to start bombing Lebanon in response to the Hezbollah IDF action.
Lindsey
Your
hadn't
thoughts
seen
on
a fist fight. He hasn't wanted to turn into a bombing, right? So I just take it with a grain of salt, dude. Yes, ma'am.
Even Tim is over here. He's like, forget what Lindsey Graham is saying. Don't even entertain it. Well, dude, we have to, because Donald Trump is just authorizing everything because Congress, you're useless. You guys tried to stop the Iran war today and failed. You didn't even get enough votes to stop it. That's where Congress doesn't give a shit. So, Tim, this is why we are asking these questions and we have to give it some validity because it circumvents you. You guys are not doing anything that is within your power. So Donald Trump signs executive orders and falls within his powers to be able to authorize these things, and you guys aren't holding him accountable for it. So that is why we're asking these things. That is why we bring it up. It is ridiculous. We have to stop these things. Now, here's Tim Burchett a little bit more. Same time, just another clip.
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
just going to ask, what do you say to MAGA voters who are concerned right now about another forever war, about Americans who are dying overseas and are being told to expect more casualties?
I would say stay concerned. I mean, be concerned, be vigilant, hold our feet to the fire, keep us honest on that issue.
Even when it comes to Trump's decisions on this?
Absolutely, ma'am. Nobody's above your reproach. Just don't tell the president I said that. I got you. I get you on that. Yes.
All of these guys, none of these guys are serving the American people. None of them. Well, one exception. Thomas Massey is serving the American people. He's going against the grain. He is the only one standing up in Congress. Yeah, I'm sure MAGA, I'll get some comments over it, but I don't care. You think my feelings are going to be hurt over your comments? No. But Massey is the only one that's trying to do anything to stop this stuff and go against it. But no, the rest of Congress is just writing it off. Oh, it's not going to happen. It's no big deal. And then it happens because Donald Trump just doesn't give a shit about Congress at all. He's going to go and do it anyways. Waz says, can we just abolish the federal government and replace it with nothing? Yes, burn it all down. Every single bit. Do it. Let's go. We are at this point that right now, everybody in DC is not serving their constituents. They are serving their special interests in the military industrial complex. And as they do, they need to do that because they're not going to get their donors. They're not going to get reelected because they're not going to be able to run the millions of dollars of campaign ads on TV to get their name in front of people. The Democrats are so united and move in a unified direction. They always do that. They always find ways to make it happen. because that party is a disaster. They are all just going to vote whatever their leadership tells them to do. And so they get the money. The Republicans are trying to be free thinkers, but they really suck at it. They really suck at it because they don't deliver on shit. And this is a perfect example. Oh, we should be concerned. But then he's telling everybody, don't worry about what Lindsey Graham says. This is the bullshit that goes on in Congress. They're not telling you the truth at all. My rep hasn't been horrible on the war issues. She responds to my emails when I email her. Are they real responses though? I'm only asking because I get responses, but they seem like they're AI written responses, or their staffer sends the email, not them, and it's just some perfectly worded, politically correct email, which I don't consider good interactions with your constituents. Just be real. Be real. Let's get back into Chuck Schumer real quick. Let's show you what Chuck Schumer says when he walked out of this hearing. This hearing, like, the Democrats were scared. I think the Trump administration made this a much bigger deal than it really is, and they scared the shit out of the Democrats. They are all freaking out when they came out of this meeting.
Do you think Israel, forced the U.S.'s hand here, boxed the U.S. in on this?
Look, no one wants a nuclear war. No one wants a nuclear Israel, but we...
No one wants a nuclear Israel? Did you just say that?
Certainly don't want an endless war, plain and simple. What did I say? Oh, no, got it. Let me say that again. No one wants an endless war, but we certainly don't want a nuclear Iran. That's for sure.
He said the right thing first. You don't hear me talk about the Jews in Israel very much. I don't like the Israeli government. I hate them. I don't like all government. I think they're evil. I think they've turned on all of their constituents and are taking money and the livelihoods of everybody they're supposed to represent. Israel, he said the right thing first, but no, he had to come back and correct it because his staffer was like, "Hey, old man, you pulled a McConnell. You weren't using the right words. You said Israel, you meant Iran."
Certainly don't want an endless war, plain and simple.
Well, let's go.
No one wants a nuclear Israel.
No one wants a nuclear Israel.
But we certainly don't want an endless war, plain and simple.
I agree on the endless war. We don't want that either. And then he gets corrected by his staffer.
Oh, no, got it. Let me say that again. No one wants an endless war, but we certainly don't want a nuclear Iran. That's for sure. Okay?
Welcome to electing the elderly. They can't even put together words correctly. Right? This is just an absolute mess. This is why Congress and WAS, where I agree with you, let's just burn the whole thing down. Let's just get over it. Let's get over to the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House. Correct, Amity. No one wants a nuclear Israel.
There's no question.
I can't believe I agree with Chuck Schumer for once. Wow.
Question about this. The Democrats never had any question about it when Democrat presidents were using this authority. When you look at the analysis of the War Powers Act and the law that applies and the powers that are given to the Commander-in-Chief under Article 2 of the Constitution, President Trump has done exactly what he should do. He is squarely within the law. He used his discretion and his authority and the intelligence that he had, exquisite as it was, as is demonstrated by its effectiveness, and he did what he should have done as a Commander-in-Chief. The idea that a few colleagues here would try to move a War Powers motion and resolution to the floor right now is dangerous. Imagine this.
It's dangerous. Guys, it's dangerous. The boogeyman. If Iran gets nuclear weapon in 2 weeks, we have to do something now. It's dangerous. How dare Congress try to hold the president accountable because he's supposed to represent the American people and what they want. But it's dangerous, so we have to go in and do this. We have to.
Scenario where Congress would vote to tell the Commander-in-Chief that he was no longer allowed to complete this mission.
Oh yeah, you're no longer allowed because Congress disagrees, and that's why we have checks and balances in the government to ensure we don't have a fucking dictatorship. which is what we have right now. Because you're fucking useless. You can't do shit while you're in Congress. And we have the president just out there signing executive orders and sending us into war. This is absolutely insane and all theater of what they're putting on. This is the type of crap that is selling all of Americans on why Iran needs to be taken down and why we need to back Israel. Like, let Israel go fight it. Israel has all of the means. They have a whole bunch of weaponry. Fine. If we want to sell it to make some profit and pay off our debt, fine. Let's prop up the military industrial complex to do so and bring in that money. But we do not need to be participating in it. But no, we led the way here. And by the way, we're going to get to that. Speaking of led the way, what does Marco Rubio have to say? Because Marco Rubio was calling out yesterday, yesterday and then today. So yesterday, not today, 2 days ago. Yesterday he said this.
Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked
okay.
a question.
And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action.
We knew there was going to be an Israeli action.
We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces.
We knew that would result in an attack against American forces.
And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before.
So we needed to go after them first because we knew Israel was going to take action. And so we needed to go after them because they were going to attack us.
Before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that.
So, okay, you said that on the second. Wait, what did you say yesterday?
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked
okay.
a question.
And so the president made the very wise.
So, no, he's backing it up and trying to say, no, I did not say we knew Israel was going to take action, so we did it preemptively. He got caught in lies. This is the problem with our government is they are forgetting when it is on the internet, it is on there forever. And we can actually hold them accountable to what they are saying. And this is why this entire war is a lie. There is nothing, we should not be in Iran. We should not be backing Israel. We should let them deal with their bullshit. These guys are doing something to be able to push an agenda, keep us in a war, and launder money to probably their friends. That is all it is. Anybody that has bought into this is being super fucking ignorant because this is plain as day. These clips are all over the place. I played it for you at the beginning earlier that Donald Trump was using the same talking points that Bibi has been saying for the last 30 years. Oh, they were going to do it in 2 weeks. Or, oh, if we didn't do it back in June, we didn't use the B-2 bomber, they would have got it soon too. It's the boogeyman thing. Every government always creates boogeymen to control the American people, and MAGA is being very dumb and falling for it because their leader is in charge. I know he meant Iran and said Israel, David. That's the part that you're missing. And it may be because you don't get the U.S. politics as much being in Canada, but the part he said Israel having nukes. Israel has had nukes. We're not concerned about Israel having nukes. We just don't want Iran to have nukes or Afghanistan to have nukes or Iraq to have nukes or any other country but Israel, United States, North Korea, Russia, China. Why are all the big countries allowed to have nukes, but none of the small ones? None. It's because the government uses this as an excuse to keep going into war. I wouldn't be surprised if these nukes, a lot of it is just gone, and all they're creating is boogeymen to lie to everybody just so you can sign up for the war. And then we're going to send your children to go and fight it. Israel has been lying about having nukes since the 60s. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of governments have been lying about it because my argument is when it comes to these wars, they create these situations. Let me bring down the screen. Get rid of that. My thing with all of this, none of these big countries will ever use the nukes, in my opinion, because they're all dependent on each other for trade, for their market, for money, all of this stuff. So if China was to come and wipe us out, what would they gain? They would lose a lot of money because we would no longer be buying anything from them. Would that crush China? It would hurt China if America didn't exist. It would hurt a lot of countries if America didn't exist. It would hurt America if China didn't exist. We are very dependent on China. So why in the world would they come after us and wipe us out when we are all dependent on each other? And really, it's the elites and the powers that be that are above these governments that are swaying all of these decisions just so they can launder money to their friends and pedophiles. That's all they're doing. It keeps their fancy lifestyle going as we fund it and pay for it. These boogeymen that the government keeps creating is only to get you to be complicit. That's all it is. China. Oh my good hell. And now we have an Pete Hegseth that is absolutely ridiculous. I have two clips of him today. This one, I'm trying to remember. Let's play this whole clip and let me get this on the screen. So this clip. All right, let's hear from Pete.
In a few days, in under a week, the two most powerful air forces in the world will have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace. I hope all the folks watching understand what uncontested airspace and complete control means. It means we will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military, finding and fixing their leaders and their military leaders, flying over Tehran, flying over Iran, flying over their capital, flying over the IRGC, Iranian leaders looking up and seeing only U.S. and Israeli air power.
Why are we funding this? We're going to be shutting down Iran's airspace, and your tax money is going to do that. Where is this coming from? Why?
Every minute of every day until we decide it's over.
Every minute, every day until we decide it's over. I thought this was only supposed to go like 4 days. Well, it wasn't a war. It was a strategic strike per MAGA. And then it turned into a couple days. And then it turned into 4 days. And now it's for how long as we need it. And then I got another clip I'll share with you in here in just a second.
And Iran will be able to do nothing about it. B-2s, B-52s, B-1s, Predator drones, fighters, controlling the skies, picking targets. Death and destruction from the sky all day long.
Death and destruction from the sky. Didn't Donald Trump criticize the Ukraine and the Russian war as stupid because people are dying? Didn't Donald Trump say that? But here he is saying death and destruction.
We're playing for keeps. Our warfighters have maximum authorities granted personally by the president and yours.
We're playing for keeps. What are we keeping? Are we going to go conquer their land and we're going to have in the middle of the Middle East, we're going to have the Iran and it's going to be America? Are we going to just conquer their land and take that over and just have that little piece? You think that's a good idea? No, an absolute horrible idea. Absolute horrible. We're playing for keeps. What are we going to keep? We're going to go in and level the entire country like we did with Afghanistan and Iraq, and then walk away, leave a few thousand soldiers there, 10,000 soldiers there, and leave them at risk. And then one day we'll pull out of it and leave people there and then just make a disastrous withdrawal like Biden did. We are keeping their APAC money. Oh, geez. Trump Towers, Tehran. Yeah, well, Trump Towers in Greenland, Trump Towers in Gaza. We're going to have Trump Towers everywhere. Jeez. This is insane, guys. I can't believe people are signing up and being okay with this. Now, we are getting told now from Pete.
Question about
Donald Trump will take this war as long as he needs it. It's not just scheduled for time anymore. It's not, oh, it's going to be just some strategic strikes. No, it's not. It's war. And it was a couple days, then it was 4 days, and now
it's the typical NBC sort of gotcha type question.
It's a gotcha type of question when we ask, how long do we think this war is going to go on? No, it's not a fucking gotcha question. It's actually a question that we're going to ask, because if you look at the history of the government, the United States government, they keep dragging us in long, drawn-out wars that American soldiers are dying and America gets nothing out of it. Only the rich, wealthy elites benefit from war. No one else does.
President Trump has all the latitude in the world to talk about how long it may or may not take. 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. It could move up. It could move back. We're going to execute at his command the objectives we've set out to achieve. And what he has shown an ability to do that other presidents can't quite seem to have the aperture to do, well, I mean, Joe Biden didn't even know what he was doing, is to look for opportunities and off-ramps and escalations for the United States that creates new opportunities.
There's off-ramp. You already took out the leader. You already blew up and killed several leaders. Well, I'm assuming you guys killed them. It could have been Iranian leaders, but when it comes down to it, the people they were thinking of putting in power all are dead. The people that this administration was thinking of putting in power for the regime change that was not happening, that we are not going into Iran to do, the people that we were going to put in power are all dead. Every single one of them. And then you have MAGA going around and claiming that there was no bombing of a school and 165 children are dead. They are trying to say that's fake. That was not true. War is real and there is death with it every time. Everybody is sucking off this government and administration and thinking, oh, we have to trust them. We've seen this script, guys.
To execute what we need on our own timeline. So you can play games about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. He has all the latitude, and I'm glad he does, because there's no better communicator than our president expressing those things.
Daily Mail.
I've been in meetings with the president for the last 2.5 days. We know exactly where his headspace is, and he will communicate as he should exactly what he would like, and we will follow those orders. And I think everything he said on that is right down the middle.
No, it's not right down the middle. This is the problem. This government had no idea what they were getting into. This government didn't realize that Iran would respond, because they didn't really respond after we blew up their mountain. That was where they were enriched uranium. When we did the bunker buster back in June, and now all of a sudden, no, we got to do it. And they're actually responding. So I think our entire administration thought this was going to be just one and done and walk away. No one was going to retaliate. And look at what they're doing. They're really retaliating and responding. And as they should. I wouldn't want my country just to be bombed by another country and be okay with it. We can't do that. We can't do that. It's not okay. This entire administration is a joke. And when he is trying to spin it, he's trying to, like, Pete Hegseth is trying to have Trump's wittiness. He can't. Pete Hegseth will never have Trump's wittiness. Like, watch this again.
About 4 weeks. It's the typical NBC sort of gotcha type question.
No, you don't have Trump's wittiness, dude. So stop. It won't work. Stop being like Donald Trump and just be who you are. But you can't, because you have to constantly be fake and trying to sell the media and the American people on this bullshit. So you can't be real. You can't be who you are, because you have to constantly lie. It's pathetic. Pathetic. let's get into this. Let's go into Ayatollah's look at this. What's his face? Dipshit's son is alive, and they are here. Let me get my face out of the way. This is their pretty much their new leader, Ayatollah's son. I'm not even going to try to butcher that name. No, thank you. I'll just butcher it, but there it is. It is his son, and he's probably running the regime still. They're not free. Venezuela is not free. Venezuela is, just because Maduro's gone doesn't mean that country is now running around free and doing their own thing. Iran is in the same boat. They still have the regime there. This is not changing. No, I can't free. Not this shit. I don't fucking care about these countries. I don't care to know their language or how to say their names, because I really shouldn't even be talking about them, but my fucking government decides we need to stick our nose into all the bullshit. And this is just getting ridiculous. So all in all, highlighting, they still have a leader. They're still responding. They're still going after us. This is an absolute joke. We should not be in Iran. When it comes down to Spain, you have the president, prime minister of Spain, prime minister or president?
Yes, think about it. Germany.
I think it's prime minister. We'll see. I think it is PM. Yeah, PM Spain.
Everybody was enthusiastic about it. Germany, everybody, and Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We don't. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it.
Oh, so we can just fly into any country and just use their. How
Nobody's
ridiculous!
Tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and so
Unfriendly?
I told them, we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than
Which is
great
true.
people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
Which is fair. That's fine. That's Trump's prerogative. He can make that decision. I don't think it really matters. But then the main stance of the prime minister of Spain was, hey, you didn't follow your normal orders. You're just being a dictator. That's what we're not happy about. So yeah, we're not happy with what you're doing. Don't do that. And that's perfectly fine for Spain to do that. And it's okay if Trump wants to stop trading with Spain. It's not a big deal. But I read today, this is all done and squashed. Spain is now complying because guess what? Trump got his way. And so it's going to make his head and his ego even bigger. And so that maybe that's why we're going even bigger. We haven't even brought the biggest wrath into Iran yet. I haven't done it. I don't care what amendment it is. They don't follow the Constitution anyways. Yeah. What's the amendment where we can remove the president again? 25th. If he's unfit, it's the 25th Amendment. They said that for 4 years with Joe Biden. But anyways, so we caved. Spain caved. We're back on. We can use their bases and landing and all of that stuff with our Air Force because they caved. And Donald Trump is going to be happy. Great. I wish more people would learn to stand up against him and not buy into this. We don't need to be supporting wars. You guys know that. Most of you guys know this. Like, this is not new. Oh boy. What's the oh boy in the comments for? Megyn Kelly has also had a stance with this. And this is where she has been getting called out by MAGA. If you guys haven't seen that, she's been trending since this war has started because she has a similar stance. Like, what in the hell are we doing? Let's hear what she has to say.
Look, there are massive divisions over what we've done here, and people are going to change their minds over the coming days and weeks, one way or the other. But my own feeling is no one should have to die for a foreign country.
Facts.
I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States.
Facts.
I think they died for Iran or for Israel. I think I understand how this helps Iran perfectly well. I get it. I mean, I hope. Long term, we'll see. but they seem rather jubilant. 80% of the country does not support the Ayatollah. He was a terrible, terrible man. No one's crying that he's dead. No normal person. But our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. And
Facts.
this feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war.
Yes, it is.
Mark Levin wanted it. It's his war.
Yep.
Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson. That's obvious. They're the ones who've been pushing us into.
Well said, Megyn Kelly. I don't agree with you often, but I agree with you in what you're saying here. This is not our war. This is Israel's war. Israel can go fight this war. They have the means to do so. And Derek, have a good night, buddy. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All in all, guys, we'll start wrapping this up. We're a little bit over. It's very disappointing that our entire administration can repeat the same script that the Bush administration did very easily, and all Americans forgot what happened in 24 years ago. We are in a world of hurt if Americans fall for the same script every 20 years. There's no fixing this. This is where we need to start looking at alternative solutions and preparing to get rid of the federal government entirely. Oh, what up, Jacob? Yeah, Israel drug us into it, for sure. We should have said no. We should have had true leadership to tell Bibi no, but Trump cannot tell him no. So that's all it is there. But we're wrapping up the show. I just wanted to share with you guys all of this stuff because I've also been in the arguments with everybody over the last few days and all of the stupid bots trying to say this is not a war. It's very clearly a war. We have 6 American soldiers already dead because of this war, and we have 0 pedophiles arrested that were messing around with children with Jeffrey Epstein. It's really pathetic that our government can't address the pedophile situation in our country, but we damn sure can go after some boogeyman in the Middle East and really try to take them out for another country. I hope we can do better. I'm losing a lot of hope in that because this is ridiculous. Amity, you and me both. The bots that I have been dealing with the last few days are actually insane. It is insane the amount of bots that are coming around. And some people I can logically have a conversation with, and then some of these accounts are just stupid. To all the people saying it's not a war, F you. Well said, Jacob. Glad you're coming around, man. When it comes down to this stuff, this administration is full of lies. And Jacob, I know, not singling you out per se for any reason, but I know you're still a fan of the administration, but we really got to start looking at this critically, and we got to make this better. And right now, the only way we can do it is spreading truth. And I don't think we can get the truth out of this administration anymore. After this war that we just went into for another country that could defend themselves, they have a well-rounded military and more than capable of taking out Iran themselves if they wanted to, but no, they didn't. And so we get to spend our tax dollars to go and make that happen. When we're already $39 trillion in debt, and it's going up every day, and we're spending $1 billion on this per day. Per day on this war, we're spending $1 billion a day, I believe is what it was said. That debt's going to keep going up, and that is on the grandchildren and all the kids in this country to pay back. That's what the prior generations never worried about. That's why we're into this situation. So I take it you don't believe there was a threat against the U.S. Correct. Show me there was a threat against the U.S. Show me. You want to know where there's a threat? There's 300 mosques in Texas that were just radicalized because we bombed their country. What do you think we should do? Go over there and bomb their country, or should we take care of things in our country first? Because it doesn't sound very smart if we have a whole bunch of people here that will become radicalized from us bombing them to do crazy things. It doesn't sound like it's a good idea for us to go and attack their country. We should probably clean up our country first. And then if we want to do anything outside our borders, then we can do that. Iran couldn't even hit us if they wanted. There's speculation that the school that was blown up, it wasn't even an Iran or a U.S. missile. It was not Iran. It wasn't an Israel or U.S. missile. It was Iranian. And if anything was to tell you that, they are useless. They can't do anything. I don't believe they, for 1 second, they had any nukes. Because it's no different than George Bush with WMDs. Do you think Trump knows things that are classified that we don't? Yes. Donald Trump knows things that we don't know. And that is who is going to get all of the money that we're going to be pumping into this war. That is exactly what Trump knows. Who is going to be getting all of that money from this war? And who is going to benefit from this war? Americans aren't. Anybody that believes it, and Kelly, you got to go watch the replay and go watch the beginning. Donald Trump's using the same talking points that Bibi Netanyahu has been saying for 30 years. He has said the exact same things. So if anybody is buying the bullshit from the government, you might as well buy in. I'll sell you a bullet train in California, because the bullet train in California is going to be amazing. It's amazing. It'll be fantastic. Weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. From the pedophiles running this country. Where's Stephen Miller? Good question. I don't know. I have no idea what Stephen Miller's doing, and I really don't care. This entire administration could just go to hell. But we'll wrap this up, guys. We'll call it here, but I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Share this out for me. Get it out to other people. Let's trigger some more bots to be in my comments tomorrow, because it's going to happen. But I hope all you guys have a good night, and we will talk to you guys later.